All right, very good morning, everybody. Very good morning. Let me see if we are live or not. Just give me a moment. Are we live? Are we live? Let me just check if we are live. Yes, we are. We are live. A very good morning. Thank you for tuning in for today's class. So today we are doing a strategy session on how we can embrace MCQ questions and how we can kind of prepare ourselves and make the best out of these MCQ questions. The idea essentially being that how do I put it? See, multiple choice questions. It is kind of like a double-edged sword when it comes to when it comes to the test question arsenal, right? It is kind of a double-edged sword, this multiple choice question. And when often they are paired with choices such as none of the above or all of the above, it is less often in cat exams, and more often in kind of NMAT or GMAT. But the idea is that even when they come in these exams, they present us with a selection of answers, without any real work, and inducing a lot of laziness when it comes to our mind. And often this leads to selection of an incorrect answer, right? And when we are feeling unsure, when we don't know what to do when it comes to these questions, there's often a lot of uh, guidelines that we can follow when it comes to embracing such questions, when it comes to making the best out of them. And I'll cover all that today because, see, no matter how hard you studied, right? And Sunday is our cat exam, and no matter how hard you studied, how very prepared you are, and how very prepared you feel, there are times during an exam when you just kind of have to follow your intuition. You just kind of have to more or less wing it, because you know for a fact that these are two three questions that are necessary to attempt. Even though in cat we often say, and we often feel that quality matters more than quantity. But there are times when you feel like, what, I can easily eliminate two options here. Should I go ahead with it or not? Right? Do I leave the question? Do I let it be? Do I embrace the risk, or do I be risk averse? In situations like these, it always helps to kind of follow a few guidelines that help us deal with such situations, because these are kind of sticky situations, right? So without further ado, let me kind of give you an introduction of the Unacademy platform before delving into the strategies that we're going to be discussing today, right? So Unacademy is India's largest learning platform when it comes to tackling management exams such as your CAT, GMAT, NMAT, ZAT, Matt, and the likes. I am Prankur Arora. I'll be essentially taking you on this journey of learning. Oh, just give me a moment. Yeah, yeah. I'll be essentially taking you on this journey of learning, wherein we'll be wherein I'll be essentially taking you through concepts pertaining to the verbal ability as well as the reading comprehension portions of these exams. Uh, I've been in the learning industry for a better part of the last couple of years, where I've even had the opportunity to consult with various organizations on different aspects of learning and development. Organizations such as Interglobe Air Transport, Marico Limited, ITC Limited, uh, Becton Dickinson India, FMC Corporation, Power Grid Corporation of India Limited, and the likes. Right, I've consulted with all these organizations on different aspects of learning and development. I am also a published author. I wrote a book called It's Not Funny, got published a couple of years back, even garnered amazing reviews from the likes of satirists like Biswavati Sarkar, Papa CJ, amazing satirists. And the book itself is a work of satire, fiction and satire. So if you're fond of reading, do check it out. The idea is that I hold advanced certifications in facilitation from an American organization called Leadership Management International, and that kind of affords me with the necessary skill set required to facilitate different topics. So yeah, that's pretty much about me. Welcome aboard this journey of learning. I'm glad that there are quite a lot of features that add to the pedagogy of an academy. Some of those features include giving you access to daily live classes, wherein all interaction between the educator and the learners happens in real time, right? You can engage in discussions, ask your doubts, clear your doubts, spark off discussions, and even the question answers are conducted in the form of live polls when it comes to the platform, which is, trust me, it's another adrenaline rush altogether. uh, we conduct regular tests and quizzes to help you evaluate your performance, right? We conduct those mock tests and quizzes to basically give you a detailed analysis on your performance. It'll help you kind of take stock of where you are, gain perspective, gain a lot of perspective about where you are versus where you want to be in your learning journey. All the courses on the platform are pretty much structured and very much in line with your exam syllabus to get you to help you get the best of everything, right? And with one subscription, you get unlimited access to anything and everything, all kinds of live and recorded courses that you can access from the comfort of any of your devices. Um, we've got a lot of educators, a variety of educators, and all of these educators, trust you me, are highly credible people. Over the years, they've mentored various aspirants successfully into, various top tier management institutions, be it your IMs, MDIs, XLRIs, ISBs, you name it, they've cracked it, right? And you can start learning from all these educators for free before deciding whether you want to kind of invest to avail the additional benefits that come with the subscription to the platform or not. New batches, new courses, they keep on going live. Plus, we've got educators who are teaching in vernacular languages as well, right? So if you're not as comfortable in English, I'm pretty sure you can probably, grab hold of somebody who's teaching in a regional language that you were brought upon. A really cool thing about the platform is that you design your own schedule, right? You decide what are the kind of courses you want to enroll into, who are the educators you want to be learning from, and basis that you structure your own weekly learning schedule, right? Nobody else is taking that ownership for you, which is a very cool thing. And as I was saying, everything happens in real time on the platform, and uh, we conduct our tests and quizzes regularly to help you develop perspective about your learning journey, and help you do some course correction if need be. Stuff like, if I'm giving you data such as, what, Ravi, you're spending 3 minutes solving every para jumbles question, whereas it is only taking you 1.5 minutes to solve a para completion question. That definitely tells us that, probably you need to be spending more time when it comes to para jumbles as compared to para summary or para completion. uh, Also, when once you subscribe to the platform, all the class notes with the educator annotations, they're made available to you. You can revisit them, revise them as and when you wish to. And these are the various models that Unacademy affords when it comes to preparation for CAT or any other management exam. You can clearly see that as the time period goes up, the cost of the subscription per month is going down. Uh, so if you're preparing for 2021, I would highly recommend at least a 6 month or a 12-month journey, so that you afford yourself that much time to develop a comfort level with the subject, with the pedagogy, as well as with the educators you're going to be learning from. And if you use my name Prankur, you will get an extra 10% off on any of the subscriptions that you're going to go for. Having said that, let's begin the discussion for the day. Today, we are here to kind of discuss how we can embrace MCQ questions when it comes to these management exams. What are the kind of hacks we need to know? What are the kind of things we need to know? What are basic guidelines that we need to follow when it comes to intelligent guesswork, right? Because that is what we're going to be discussing today. But let me give you a few disclaimers, right? When it comes to MCQ questions, we know for a fact that there's going to be a single correct answer, right? Out of the four or the five options that are given to you, we know for a fact that there will be a single correct answer, right? And these hacks, these tips and tricks that we're going to be discussing today, they'll only help you fetch a few more marks, right? They are not a brahmastra for you, right? So if you've not been following a learning schedule that spans at least 6 months when it comes to preparing for CAT or any other management exam, then this strategy session is not going to be it won't do anything for you, right? You can't basically circumvent the basic preparation journey of a few months and be like, what, I'm going to just go and look at five strategy videos pertaining to MCQs and that will help me crack these exams. No, that's futile. It's going to be stupidity, and I would really advise against it. That's not going to happen, right? So you have to have a lot of a basic structure of knowledge, a basic platform of knowledge that you've been able to develop over the course of your learning journey. Because then we can develop on top of that basic platform, we can develop on top of that basic structure with our strategies, with our intelligent strategic preparation, with the hacks that we can kind of follow along with the pre-existing knowledge base that we have, right? Otherwise today's class is going to be futile for you. What today's class will basically teach you is, it'll help you solve two, three more questions, 2, 3 more questions than you typically would when it comes to these exams. These are 2, 3 questions that you would rather avoid because you're not as confident when it comes to tackling them. You're not as sure about reaching the correct answer. You're not sure about your accuracy. So you decide against attempting these 2, 3 more questions. That is what today's class is for. To help you kind of strategically approach these 2 or 3 questions that will help you gain a lot of slight edge. And when I talk of slight edge, I really mean slight edge. It is for a fact that I call it slight edge because imagine that it is an Olympic 100-meter race. It is an Olympic sprint, right? The difference between a Usain Bolt and a Johan Blake is in milliseconds. It's not even seconds. The difference is milliseconds, right? When it comes to horse derby, right? You would have seen that it's milliseconds. That is the difference between the horse that is coming first and the horse that is coming second. Similarly, when it comes to cat, it is the slight edge that is going to help you gain an advantage over somebody else. There's not a lot of difference between achievers when it comes to the cat exam and the people who score a 95 percentile, right? Versus somebody who is at a 98 or a 99. There's only a slight edge. Today's class is basically going to focus on this slight edge, which will help you solve 2 or 3 more questions than the others. That is exactly what I'm going to be focusing on, right? Now, let me cover the basics, right? Let me first cover the basics. The basics is the first thing that we know for a fact is that you've got to start with known questions. My friend, you've got to start with known questions. As in, when, see, you can't skip sections, but you can skip questions within that section, right? So solve what comes easily to you. Focus on your strength areas. Focus on your strength areas foremost. First and foremost, focus on your strength areas. Solve what comes easily to you, solve what comes naturally to you, because that will up your confidence level during the exam. The first 15 minutes you need your confidence level up there, and that will only happen if you solve, or if you start with known questions. You start with questions that come easily to you so that your confidence level goes up, right? What I would recommend is, you know is basically, take a bird's eye view, because that is possible, right? That is possible. Take a bird's eye view of the entire question paper, of the section, right? Of the section that comes first. Take the bird's eye view of that section. Sequence the questions as per your preference, as per your confidence level, right? That will help us a lot, right? Focus on your strength areas, sequence your questions as per your strength level, as per your confidence level, as per your preference, and up your confidence level so that you're very much prepared for the next uh, few hours, right? Also, very important thing is avoid ego, right? Avoid the questions that you don't know. If you're not able to solve a question, skip it. You don't have to attempt it, you don't have to be at it for 2 to 3 minutes. If you're not able to solve it, the first 60 seconds will tell you whether it will happen or not, right? If you're not able to solve it, don't take it on your ego, man. You don't know the examiner. The examiner does not know you. The examiner does not give a crap about your preparation. What the examiner gives a crap about is whether you're getting the answer right or wrong, right? So avoid ego, right? There is an option to switch questions. So please switch questions. You can't switch sections, but you can switch questions. I'll repeat it again. Take a bird's eye view of the entire question paper within that section and sequence the questions as per your preference. Right? I would rather you spend 2 minutes doing that than 2 minutes trying to crack an answer that you're not able to arrive at just because your ego is hurt. Avoid ego at all costs when it comes to these exams, right? And avoid preconceived notions, man. Avoid preconceived notions because the idea is they don't do you any good. what happens is I come across a lot of a lot of people who would rather look at the answers, skim through the answers before attacking the comprehension or the passage in the critical reasoning portion of the exam, right? I would rather see, and this might sound obvious, that I'm asking you to kind of avoid preconceived notions, but people don't do it, right? Because under the pressure of appearing for such exams, many people end up skimming, through the questions rather than reading the questions in detail. Don't look at the answers first, cover the answers if possible, right? Look at the question, go through the question in depth, try and understand what it's trying to say, because see, it is important to gather all the information that is a part of the question, uh, because this information is what is pivotal to kind of solving the question correctly, right? Therefore, the first step to answer any question would be to read the question thoroughly. Thereafter, you can understand what is being said, what is being asked along, and you keep an eye on the information that is provided, and that will eventually help you to arrive at the right answer, because that is the correct way to go about it. All right. The next step, obviously, once you've read it, is to comprehend what is being said. And that is probably one of the biggest challenges when it comes to the kind of comprehensions you get, the kind of critical reasoning questions that you get, the kind of questions you get in your DI portion, right? Many a times you might come across questions which might even look awfully similar to something that you've done in your mocks, right? And the what helps to remember there is that over the past 5 years, cat is not known to kind of repeat a single question, if either from the readily available question banks or the mocks, right? So therefore, know for a fact that you will never get a repeated question or a question that is picked from any of the mock tests that you might have solved. So ensure that you're reading it thoroughly, you're trying to understand what is being said, and you approach it with all caution, right? You approach it with all caution. That is very, very important for us to kind of know. Okay. um right, let's look at what else we need to know for a fact. See, it's very important to know all this information, because that is what will help you to kind of avoid missteps, right? As I said, avoid skimming through the answers beforehand, read questions in detail, but because it is very important to gather all information, comprehend questions properly, decide whether to attempt or not, and this will go a long way in helping you do it, right? And after this, you decide whether you're going to be attempting the question or not, right? After this comes the difficult part, wherein you decide whether you're going to be attempting it or not. The whole idea of negative marking is to test your confidence, to test your ability to solve the questions and arrive at an answer with a logical backing, right? Even the questions, when it comes to the verbal ability portion, they kind of rooted in logic more often than not, right? Basically, negative marking is there to help you ensure that you take the necessary risks, you evaluate your chances, you forecast your chances, and you realistically try and perform under the given pressure situations, right? Therefore, the aspect of whether or not to kind of attempt is a major step in the process of answering a question. And that is what will often end up as a major factor determining whether you get selected into one of the IIMs or not. All right. Now comes the strategic portion that I really, really want to cover, right? And that strategic portion, when it comes to MCQs, is basically, see, you'll come across a lot of videos on YouTube. A lot of teachers will be telling you different tips and tricks when it comes to solving, or when it comes to tackling MCQs. But the only scientifically proven tip or trick is the process of elimination when it comes to MCQ questions. Because see, the process of eliminations takes stock of your pre-existing knowledge base. Why am I calling it scientific? Because it takes stock of your pre-existing knowledge base. It is not something that people have structured without any know-how. When it comes to guesswork, you've got to follow the golden rule of guesswork, which is eliminate all the options that are incorrect first, right? What I'm trying to get at is, even when it comes to a question where you don't know the correct answer, there is a possibility to arrive at the correct answer. Number one. Number two, there is, as I said, there is only single correct answer out of the four or five options. right? So when it comes to negative marking, as I mentioned, you've got to decide whether or not to attempt the question or not, right? What I'm trying to get at is there are no random guesses when it comes to process of elimination. There is a proper process, right? Let me just jot this down so that people know for a fact that process of elimination does not mean that I'm going to do random guesswork. What it means is that I'm evaluating where I stand and taking a practical approach to arrive at a correct answer, right? And again, when I say quality over quantity, it's about getting one more answer right than the others. When it comes to cat, when it comes to the percentile, when it comes to the top percentile, it is always about getting that one more right answer than the others. That is why I said getting two or three more right answers is more valuable to us than trying to shun off the accuracy and go about all the questions with guesswork and process of elimination. That is not what I'm trying to get at all, right? What I'm trying to figure out here is that when it comes to the process of elimination, you've arrived at the answer with proper know-how, right? Let me take you through the process now. Let me quickly take you through the process now, right? It is, when I say it is a getting guessing strategy, I mean that it is a guessing strategy. Let me first begin with this, right? When it comes to POE, it's about weighing the guesswork. It's about weighing the probability. How many options are you eliminating? See, the key guessing strategy when it comes to process of elimination is a big asset when you're going into your test day, knowing for a fact that one out of the four or the five options is going to be correct, right? One out of the four or the five possible answers must be right. So if you can eliminate, say, two of the choices, right? I am saying, what if we eliminate two choices? What if we eliminate two choices, right? The idea is that if you can eliminate two choices, you can really increase your chances of getting the right answer by, see, imagine there are five options, right? A lot of reading comprehension questions will have five options. Imagine you have five options. Out of this, I am saying that you're getting two right, right? So you've increased your chances of getting the right answer by 65%, right? When it came to eliminating one choice, it was 20%, obviously, right? When it comes to or from 20%, or 1 in 5 to say 33%, when we say 1 in 3, right? When we say 1 in 3, it becomes 33%. So here's how you do it. You eliminate answer choices you know for a fact are wrong. Even if you don't know the right answer, you can often tell that some of the answer choices are wrong. When it comes to grammar, that is easy. On, say, data interpretation or data sufficiency questions, for example, you can eliminate, at least two of the answer choices by determining if one of the statements is actually true or not, right? We can also avoid answer choices that kind of look suspicious. For example, when it comes to grammar questions, you can be beware of any answer choices that look completely different from all the other choices. There are, grammar questions wherein they are inserting unnecessary words, wherein they are inserting unnecessary correlatives, right? That is a trick to kind of eliminate those answer choices. Another answer choice that you can eliminate is wherein you avoid absolutes, right? Wherein you avoid absolutes. And absolutes, uh, you know for example, options that use words such as worst or best, or there are absolutes wherein you have three answer choices when it comes to quant portion, which is -1, 1, 3. These are three choices, and then there's, say, a 50, and then there's, say, a -48, right? These are absolutes. We can likely assume that these will not be the answers. Again, this is not a foolproof plan. I would rather you solve the question and arrive at a correct number, at a correct numeral. But what I'm saying is that if you're kind of trying to do guesswork in a question because you think that it is very, very necessary for you to solve this because this is one of your strength areas, this portion is one of your strength areas, and you would rather attempt this than a question from another topic or another theme, for that, I am saying that you can likely eliminate these absolute choices. right? And once you have narrowed down the list of answer choices to say two, right, you have to pick one of the remainders. You have to pick one of the remainders, and therein you weigh the probability, right? As I said, if you've arrived at two, then I would rather you attempt it than be risk averse there. That is what I'm trying to get at, because if you think that this is a strength area and you would rather attempt this than any other question, then I would rather you face it head on than to kind of rely on your luck to solve something that you're very very underconfident in. All right. And finally, what I really, really need you to consider is whose point of view it really is. Is it the point of view when it comes to comprehensions? It is very, very important to figure out if it's the point of view of the author, or it's the point of view of somebody that, or an individual that is being mentioned in your comprehension. Very, very important to figure out whose point of view it is. And this even helps solve the reasoning questions, wherein you're able to zero in on whether it is the author's words or it is somebody else's words, because that makes a big difference when it comes to solving comprehensions, right? I'm pretty sure you'd be deciding whether you'll be skipping one comprehension or two comprehensions, right? Again, I would boil down to the same thing: focus on your strength. If you think your strength is verbal ability, or if you think your strength is reading comprehension, obviously reading comprehension carries more weight. But if you think that you're only going to be attempting two or three comprehensions, then it makes sense to tackle verbal ability as well. So focus on your strength, right? And if your strength is comprehension, begin with it and quickly try and figure out. Again, don't skim through the passage, don't skim through the answer choices beforehand, बिकॉज यू थिंक कि ठीक है, मेरे को पता चल रहा है ये रिट्रीवल क्वेश्चन है, तो मैं जल्दी से पढ़ के समझ लेता हूँ कि इसमें मेरे को क्या इन्फॉर्मेशन रिट्रीव करनी है पैसेज से, तो मैं जल्दी से क्वेश्चन पढ़ लेता हूँ, उसके बाद मैं कॉम्प्रीहेंशन पे जाऊंगा. डोंट डू दैट. Read it thoroughly, comprehend it, make notes after every paragraph. Notes should not be more than 3 to 5 words. 3 to 5 words for every paragraph, wherein you're noting down what the subject of the paragraph is. By subject, I mean who is the paragraph about, or what is the paragraph about, and what the main idea of the paragraph is. Again, I am saying paragraph and not the entire passage. Paragraph by paragraph, if you approach it, then you will be able to zero in on what the meaning of the entire passage is, right? So main point or main idea of the paragraph, that is why did the author write it, or how did the author write it, right? So if you're able to zero in on all these things, you will be able to crack what the comprehensions are about, right? Focus on your strength. I'll keep on saying that again and again. If you think you want to solve only three passages, quickly solve three passages. स्किप द पैसेज जिसमें फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ के बाद ही तुम्हें लग रहा है कि यार ये नहीं हो पाएगा, द लैंग्वेज इज टू टफ फॉर मी, आई एम नॉट एबल टू कॉम्प्रीहेंड इट. Don't push the panic button, right? Don't panic there, because you've got a plethora of choices. You've got four passages to choose from, you've got five passages to choose from, right? Skip one if you think it's not working, right? Go to the other one. Don't panic there, right? Don't do that. ठीक है. And when it comes to POE, again I am saying weigh the probability. If you think you're eliminating only one option and it's not going to make your answer option accurate, don't do it. But if you're able to eliminate two options, I would rather you take a risk there and follow the process of elimination and intuitively go for the answer that is going to be very appealing to you. All right. uh, that said, again, focus on that slight edge, right? Do the guesswork or the process of elimination only for 2 to 3 questions. Don't do it for more than that, because accuracy is very important to us. Why? Because we have to focus on quality over quantity, right? Don't do guesswork, or don't try to follow these tips and tricks for more questions. Maximum 2 or 3 questions which you think will help you gain the slight edge. Those 2 or 3 questions should be the questions wherein you're able to eliminate at least two answer options. Go ahead only then. Otherwise, focus on accuracy and don't follow the process of elimination or intelligent guesswork to arrive at your answers. All right. Otherwise, it's going to be futile. Otherwise, it's going to be waste of time. and we don't want to waste our time here, right? I'll repeat it again and again. The guesswork, intelligent guesswork or process of elimination should be done for your strength areas, only for those questions wherein you're not able to accurately arrive at an answer, but you can very easily eliminate 2 to 3 incorrect options. Once you do that, then go ahead with guesswork and process of elimination. Make it intelligent. Don't do it in a stupid way. All right, chalo. With that under the belt, let's wrap up this strategy session for the day. I really wanted to do it because I see a lot of people going about it in futile manners. I see a lot of learners uh, start from answers and then go and read the questions. We don't want to do that. We want to approach it very intelligently. If we have to follow the process of elimination, I see a lot of people taking, making guesses with no intelligence whatsoever, making guesses or participating in guesswork with no context, no perspective whatsoever. And that is why I wanted to take this session today. Hope it helps you. Hope it helps you gain that slight edge on your exam, in your exam on the 29th. All the very best, all the very best, all the very best. And if you've got any questions, do comment on this video. I'll be sure to get back to you in the later lessons on this very channel. All right. Hello. Stay safe, stay strong, everybody, and all the very best. Keep up with your preparation. Bye bye.